What's up, brother?
Hey, hello, my friend. How are you? Good to see you.
Another day in paradise, man.
It is another day in paradise. Wow, it's a different paradise nowadays.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
The new normal, as they say.
yeah, the new norm. Continuing the conversation in 3D printing and additive manufacturing, and today I'm speaking with a wizard of sorts, Joe Tucker here, who is very skilled on the SLS level of 3D printing, and also a good friend and ex-colleague who I respect very much. I know you've done a lot of great things in the industry, and it's just nice to spend some time talking to somebody who's been around the scene for a while and also is kind of behind the scenes doing a lot of things that people don't see. Because I know you work in a lot of incubator type programs and bring products to market that people are developing out there, and it's not something that you see every day. Is what happens behind the scenes in an incubator and how things are grown and developed and the processes they go through to get to market. But you've been a big part of that, and even time working with you over the last 5 years, I've seen some amazing things that you've really developed with your team there, and I think it's pretty amazing. So again, thank you for being here today, Joe Tucker.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. I
Yeah, buddy.
appreciate it. Yeah, all the kind words. I appreciate that. I'm not sure I've earned all that, but yeah, it's been a blur.
You've earned it, man. You've earned it. For sure, for sure. So what's been going on with you since all this COVID-19 that's been happening over the last month and a half or two? How have things been for you?
Things have actually been they've been really busy.
Yeah.
I think that there's a little bit of a blessing in kind of the quarantine and how it's kind of shaped the landscape of the business, and really has kind of allowed us to kind of deeper investigate some of the more pushing edge innovation, with the shortage of PPE and sort of things on the front line, to really utilize and leverage the expertise of so many brilliant engineers across the whole additive manufacturing industry to really kind of come together and solve these problems. It's really been a refreshing thing for me to see even businesses that sort of compete in the same space, really kind of collaborating on, look, we've got to come up with a way to come up with custom surgical masks or N95 filters or, face masks or things that
Yeah.
we need. Our folks, our doctors, our first responders, they need that. And so to kind of put our competitive, swords away and, kind of bear each other's crosses on pushing through this just for a common good.
Yeah, the industry coming together is a beautiful thing right now. I've seen a lot of that across the board, just people working together just to make it happen right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. And, and I think that kind of sums up the whole, I'm gonna get a little patriotic here on these segments, but that kind of sums up the whole landscape of America in general. I think that, we're very competitive in our own rights, in our own fields, but when the rubber meets the road and we have to deliver a solution, we really find a way to kind of bind together to make that happen. And I love that innovative, driven spirit that is just, every time we've been in a crisis like this as a nation or face something like this, we always find a way. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it's been a very big part of the hope that I see in the industry right now. With everything happened, there's a lot of doom and gloom, and people looking at the negatives out there, and the industry has just stepped up. Of course, you talked about that a little bit with the PPE side, the personal protection equipment, and everything else that's been going on, just to kind of supplement, little localities and the things that are happening in everyone's communities. It's a really great thing to see happening, and I think I'm very pleased with our industry, and I think it's a good time to shine, to be a part of what's happening, especially like you're saying in North America. In the U.S., we've been doing a lot of things that kind of keep the hope going, and 3D printing and additive manufacturing have actually attributed to that because of all the big stories you see out there. But like I said, you're one of the people behind the scenes that's been developing a lot of things over the years and worked with some of these big companies to make what they're doing a reality, and so they could scale up and be a part of what's going on. Have you seen a change in that? Have you switched over? Have you been nimble? Are you on the same projects? Or are you doing some stuff related to what's going on currently in industry? How have things shaped over the last couple of months with work?
Oh man, I mean, it's one of those. We're on the innovation side of it, so we're involved in everything. I mean, we've got our my team. We're sort of driving the innovation side of it, very on the R&D side, new material development side of it. We've been touching base on some of the with the like the Atrex project and the scan to print. We're
Yeah.
finding there's a lot of parallels in the medical industry that's now utilizing that kind of technology, like how to take pressure fits, how to adapt those to different areas of the body. There's been a real big push in developing, new materials. Like we're working on some polypropylene stuff, different elastomers, different kinds of nylons, really pushing the envelope of the technology. And so it's really allowed us to now that, and obviously it's very retail driven. So a lot of the stuff that we work on, like footwear projects and things like that with, a lot of retail stores closing down and, things are starting to, they kind of died down a little bit, but we filled that gap with, all those innovation projects we kind of had to push on the back burner because we had these, higher priority stuff going on to really do a deep dive into that. And so as a result, we've really opened up the landscape on our material and process portfolio. So we're looking at, kind of getting people out of the mindset of the onesie twosies, I'm making this for a prototype, and then I take my prototype and I go open a tool and then go into, those additional manufacturing methodologies and really telling them, hey, this really could be a viable method is using additive manufacturing to mass produce parts.
Hey.
All right, my dogs
That's all crazy. Good. Dogs are wonderful, man. My dog's just laying right here right now. So
we're working from home, man. What can I say? It's life.
It's a beautiful
right?
thing. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So we got the dogs and all that stuff going on, but no, it's really allowed us to kind of dive into innovation. So we've worked on, finishing up sort of those loose ends on those material projects we're working on, really diving in deep with our vendors, going deep into the chemistry, deep into the applications, and really mining those opportunities for new concepts and new products that we want to launch, into the market here very soon. So we've been able to take some of those longer term projects now, and we've put a lot of time and resources into them. So we're excited that we're going to be able to launch some of these things a lot sooner than later. So it's been a positive.
Yeah, it's kind of accelerated what's been happening out there and in the development of things, and it's been a large part of the focus is making it happen right now. So, well, it's good to hear that side of it. What kind of dogs do you have, man? What's that?
I've got a little black dog. She's kind of we're not really sure what she is. She's kind of a mix of a Chihuahua. So I got a little bit of pug in there.
Okay.
A whole lot of attitude. We're not sure where that comes from. And then we've got a pug that's my dog. His name's Gunner. He's super chill. And then we've got a German Shepherd to round out the mix. So
all right, yeah, good mix of different breeds of dogs there. That's
crazy.
A fun household.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, man. Well, that's cool. I know. On a side note too, in general, you're a very inspirational person. I know you've been going through a lot of things in your own life as far as health goes over the last few years, and even when we started working together 5 years ago, it was you were dealing with things in general. If you're open to talking about it, just in weight and health. And I know, you've been a big influence to me, and I don't say it enough in the background, but I'm always listening to what you're doing with, all of the things that have been happening with your physical fitness, and then getting into also now being a personal trainer. Just recently, I know you got a license to be a personal trainer. So congratulations on that. And
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. I think it's a beautiful thing to see somebody, you have such an amazing spirit and you're such a great leader in so many ways. And you took that upon yourself to really, jump into that and get back into the health mode of being fit and taking care of yourself. And that's rubbed off on me. I'll let you know, I've been walking constantly every day now over the last 2 months, and I lost 10 pounds, over 10 pounds myself. So, just trying to get more healthy. I was in an accident at the end of last year where I messed up my knee pretty bad. And I gained a lot of weight, and I started to kind of sit around and wait for that to heal, but I really was aching to get moving again. So it's good to finally start feeling better and to be able to get out and move and to do things. And hopefully one day I'll have enough courage to join you at a Tough Mudder or something like that, Ned. But that's
Yeah, we'd always love to have you, man. You know that.
yeah. So what's been going on with that? Tell us a little bit about how you've been developing with your personal trainer certificate now, and also what's been going on. Any Tough Mudders coming up or anything like that?
Man, I wish. So
I
yeah,
know.
the journey has been it's with any journey, right? I mean, there's wins, there's losses, it's always a pretty good story.
Mm-hmm.
As like several years ago, I was a big boy. I mean, I was,
Still a big boy.
Yeah, still a big boy. Yeah. At 6'5",
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was over 400 pounds, man. I was just unhealthy. I had high blood pressure. Everything hurt all the time. Joints hurt all the time. Focus, like sleep apnea, keeping the whole house awake, snoring at night. It was just living, I was doing the things that, we're just making those bad decisions, man. He's like, work gets at you, stress gets at you, life gets at you. And there's always two different ways you can deal with it, right? There's always, the healthy way that you always read about. And so it wasn't until I started working, somebody actually invited me out to Camp Gladiator to go check it out. And I've been going to the gym. I've been kind of doing my own thing for a little while, and I would go and I'd see I'd see that like Charles Atlas guy, this guy's got like the 8-pack, and he's got the biceps on top of biceps on top of biceps. And, I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do it. So you'd go for a little while, get tired, quit, or, something come up. Oh, I've got a meeting, or I don't want to go tonight, or I'll start Monday. Next month I'm getting back on track.
Putting it off.
Yeah. You then fast forward, 2-3 years, and you're right back where you started. There's no, you're frustrated. You're not seeing the results that you want to see. And so I went on kind of on a Hail Mary. One of the guys invited me from church. He's like, man, you got to come check this out. You're going to love it. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm sure I'll love it. Yeah. The name Camp Gladiator by its own name.
Right.
Sounds like, you're looking at me. I'm like the guy that, I couldn't sit down in a booth at a restaurant kind of thing, and I'm like, nothing about that sounds fun, but I'll go because, I want to support you.
Yeah.
And, man, when I got there, it was, I immediately felt self-conscious because I'm seeing people that are in great shape, just like the gym. I'm like, all right, here we go again. We're going to go through this whole thing. And I went, and the trainers were just awesome. Like, they were there, they were encouraging, they were uplifting. They're like, hey, this is how you do that. Hey, if you're struggling with that, this is a different way of doing that exercise. They're right there with you the whole time. Like, they were down in the trenches, sweating with me. They're like, no, we're not going to quit. We're going to do one more. You got one more in you, just driving that. And I was there for an hour, and I left, and I'm like, I couldn't believe that I had accomplished that. And I saw everybody working just as hard, regardless of fitness level. I saw everyone working just as hard as I was. And we all looked the same at the end. We were just wet and tired, and it was just this amazing feeling. And then getting that phone call, like right afterwards, hey, how you feeling? By the way, make sure you're eating this, doing that, following up on, I hope I see you next time. The day of the next camp, I've got my trainer like texting me, hey, member starts at 4:30, man. Want to see you there. Hope you're there. Looking forward to it. And right there, I knew that, I had to be a part of something like that. But I had to get my life together.
It's another community.
It's a community of people. And we're always, we really are better together. And I believe that in all aspects of everything that we do. I think that, all of us are a lot stronger than one of us.
Yeah.
And so, I started that journey, man. And it was, it was hard. And then I decided, hey, I want to be able to take my journey and help other people. If I can inspire somebody to make a healthy choice, I wanted to be able to be a part of an organization or something that would impact lives in a deep and meaningful way. And when you talk about all the illnesses and things that are going around, I mean, you look at like diabetes, these chronic illnesses kill millions of people every year. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, man, I don't want to be that dad that can't go out and play with their kids. I don't want to be the dad that goes, has to take a break when I walk from the car to the grocery store, because, and my, not have energy for my kids. And, I just want to be able to, I don't want my kids to fall in the same kind of pitfalls and traps that I did. And so I made it a mission just to, keep pushing myself, keep learning. It got brother like, hey, why don't you, have you ever thought about being a trainer? And I'm like, no. Like if you seen me, sir. And so, but having that higher level of accountability as a trainer, I went through the NASM program, and man, I love it. And I just recently got on as a full partner trainer with Camp Gladiator, running my own camps.
That's
And
awesome. Yeah,
man, I'm living the dream. I love it. I get to see people and work with them, and I don't know how much I inspire them as much as they inspire me.
Sure.
And they hold me accountable to the life choices that I make, and making sure I'm keeping up with the things I need to be doing. And I hope just to kind of pay that forward with the kindness and respect that was shown to me as a camper. I hope to be able to pay that forward to the people that I work with and I train.
Yeah, that's a blessing to have that give and take. Of course, that you're getting something out of it, obviously, and then you're giving back. So it's a big part of that community, like you're saying. And I'm happy for you, man. You have been a big inspiration to me. It's like I'm like, Joe's out there doing it, man. I have no excuses. I got to get out there and do stuff to keep myself, in shape. And like you were saying, I have a daughter that's 11 years old, and she likes to play basketball, and especially with what happened to my knee, I wasn't able to go out there and do that stuff with her. And I was like, I have to just make sure that I keep myself in shape as best as possible, so I could have that experience with her and share those type of things. Not be the guy that's just sitting on the side going, "Oh, that looks nice, honey," and then now it's paying off too, because she's pushing me now. That's the other thing. I go for walks, but she takes me out and schools me on the basketball court. So
yeah, man, iron sharpens iron. And now that this
right.
COVID-19 thing hit, now that we're doing, we got a lot of these virtual online. I can train with anybody in the world via Zoom, just like we're doing here.
Right.
And it's interacting with the trainer. I can still see him. I can encourage him. And so there's been a lot of all the terrible things this virus has done.
Mm-hmm.
What it's done is it's really kind of pushed us back into relationship with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. Like how many times, like schools are now doing virtual, interactions where teachers have interactions with their students, and like families are now, you can have Zoom calls with your families. And so, all those times that you're not calling your dad, you're not calling your mom on the phone, those kinds of things, now no excuses. She can call you up on the computer, and you're sitting there watching Netflix,
Yeah.
that Zoom call pops up, there's mom, it's like, oh, hey. But it's really kind of I've noticed, like with even friends that have moved away in different states, you lose contact with them. We're just so busy.
Yeah.
That it's good to be able to slow down a little bit and catch up with people, and have those kind of deep, meaningful, conversations with them that we need in our lives.
Yeah, that personal touch. We're very lucky nowadays with the technology that's advanced enough for us to have these type of meetings and be able to connect with each other, because it would be very difficult if there wasn't video to do this kind of stuff and connect more. Video does help connect more. And I've seen that with online events in our industry. Everything went in digital right away. This is our trade show season. We had AMUG and Rapid and a whole bunch of other shows, and IMTS is coming up in September. Hopefully that one's still on the docket there, but remains to be seen. And I do actually have someone I'm interviewing next week from IMTS, so I should find out a little bit more about what they're planning. But it's just really nice to see all these online events and see our industry has really taken advantage and grasp a hold of that by doing the online conferences. Even that's been a great part of it. People like Link3D have thrown conferences for the whole industry, and that's not their wheelhouse. Their wheelhouse is a software that actually communicates with all the machines through the MES process, and all of a sudden they just were nimble enough to switch over and say, you know what, we're going to try to get everybody together and host a virtual event. And so that's a part of our industry, and attribute to the industry is the people that are nimble out there and able to switch over and make things happen on the spot. And it's a lot to do with the technology and where we are today, and incorporating video and audio and having a good time with it, and also having some connections and learning experiences. So my daughter takes her piano classes online now, and so I'm grateful that she could sit there and get a lesson twice a week, and and not have that taken from her right now, so there's a lot of great things that you can plug into. And I think that's part of what I'm doing. I want to continue the conversation with people and just talk a little bit more on the human side of what we're going through, but also learn a little bit more about each other and share that with people. So hopefully we could all learn together, and
I love that.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it's been a wild ride the last couple months here, but I just focused on the positive and been having a great time talking to people like you, and it's a pleasure to talk to you today. So thank you for being here.
Man, my pleasure.
Yeah, buddy. So what's going on for you? Have you been back into the workplace? What's been like? I guess you had to do a lot of work from home, but you're a very hands-on guy. So what's been going on with the machines and how
Yeah, so
that?
there's been a lot of adjustment, within the organization with a lot of folks that are working from home. So for us, for my team, it's been business as usual. I mean, we've been in the office every day. Like I said, our work is, a lot of it's right in front of the machines. We got the look, see, feel, the lab stuff. So we've been very careful about how we're doing things, make sure we're keeping that social distance. Really stepped up kind of our I guess industrial hygiene. Making sure we're wearing our masks and the right PPE and things like that. It's bizarre to, sort of you get in this mindset where you can just walk over and have a conversation with the person. But, if I'm, tapping on, yelling at Paul from across the hall, we're having a meeting,
Say hi to Paul for me.
Zoom it. Yeah, I will for sure. Yeah, he was excited. He's like, man, I want to be a part of that. I was like, well, I'm going to hook you up with Adam.
Yeah, Paul South, good man. We'll talk to him soon.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good stuff going on too. But yeah, it's been business as usual for us. We got to keep, especially with a lot of companies that are now converting over to, the service bureau industry, going to, printing this PPE. We got to keep material going out the door all the time. We got to keep the QC, QA stuff going in the lab, make sure we're sending out certified products. A lot of R&D, like I said, in the process. So for the incubation, innovation side of it, with it being so busy, it's kind of nice because, there's, a lot less people in the office.
Less people to bother you. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little bit. I wasn't going to say that. There's a lot of efficiency.
I know what you go through. Yeah.
We can get a lot done. And, now that, like you said, with these new technological advances in communication, it's like, this may be the new way of doing things. It's great. We can
part of it for sure.
Yeah. We can share files. We can have face-to-face meetings. We can do all that stuff now. And, it's streamlined a lot of things. So I'm for one, I'm a big fan.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I think it's really great that we are able to do this, like I said, and I know we've had a good time talking here today. It's a pleasure to see you, my friend. I'm hoping we can check in a lot more. So
yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, happy Friday to you. And I just want to say again, thanks for coming out and joining me today. I'll give you a coffee cheers over here.
All right, buddy.
All right, buddy. Good to see you. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right, be good, brother.